Kilo Echo 8, Charlie Bravo Whiskey, Michigan.
Charlie Bravo, the Michigan station. Go ahead.
QSL, Jim. Yeah, this is Joe down here in Michigan. Kilo Echo 8, Charlie Bravo Whiskey. You're sounding really good down here, and I was just listening in, and good advice on the ground system. A lot of people don't realize that they should ground before anything else. It's like antenna and amplifiers. Get that antenna first.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Now, you know, I use old RG8 as my ground cable for, you know, we're talking about an RF ground versus it's not an AC ground, it is an RF ground. So for RF purposes, that RG8 looks like about a 1/2-inch copper pipe going to ground. I don't take the insulation off, and I leave it rounded, so it's got its full capabilities. I do at the end take the insulation and peel off the insulation about 4 inches, slide the shield back along with the center conductor and ground the whole thing that way. And then on the other end, I put about 4 inches with the shield back over the insulation, center conductor also, into a split bolt, with all of my other grounds coming together in one place.
Yeah, QSL on that, Jim. Yeah, everybody kind of has their own take on that. I think the important thing is to definitely get everything grounded and have one central point to everything that goes to. I run flat strap here. I run 2-inch flat strap. The ground rod, an 8-foot copper ground rod, and it's only about probably 9 feet, because it's right outside the shack under the crawl space. And then I've got a copper block, excuse me, if you will. It's only 9 inches long, but I've got everything grounded to that. All the switching, the linear, and boy, I tell you what, before that I just run number 6 wire, and coming off from an aluminum block and everything, and it was okay. I didn't have any RF, but once I grounded it with that flat strap, my noise floor dropped and the receive went up, and I've told people that, and they just kind of like, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, yes, it does. So if you get a good grounding in your shack and the whole thing is grounded right, it makes a big difference.
Oh, that's a Roger. Yeah, the sooner you can get to ground, the better off you are. If you have to go through a wall, or, you know, go through it, if you can shorten that ground run, you know, by 3-4 feet, man, it makes all the difference. So I just usually bore through right at the floor level, right out, you know, and get to those grounds. And like I say, I've got 3, one for the power amp, and then I'm combining the other 2 inside for my spider. So running 3 grounds, and that is pretty much taking care of my RF and the AF. You know, the thing is, the more stuff that you have tied to your input, the more the possibilities of RF getting into it. And so we have quite a bit of stuff on the front end of our radio and into the mic, and we have quite a bit of stuff on the output of the radio, you know, so there's all kinds of possibilities of getting RF and the AF. So we have over a period of time pretty much solved, well, I don't want to say that because it tempts fate. Everything's looking good here, Roger.
QSL, Jim. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Every time you go saying something, you know, it seems like, oops, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, and it does change. I mean, you can go from one band to the other, and when you know you've got it set up right for your station, and that's what I mean, your station is, everybody's station's different. It's like antennas. I build a lot of antennas, and people, you know, will say, well, you know, how come yours does this and does do that? I said, well, every station is different. Every situation is different. Every surrounding area is different. There are so many different components. and different variables that go to it that you have to custom make it for your area, for your type of situation, for your location, and for everything else that's around you. It's really challenging, but you know what? It's a lot of fun. All right, Jim. I'll let you go. I know there's a lot of other people out there wanting to get back to you. I was just sitting here in the shack and doing some computer work, and I went down to 40 meters to see what was going on, and there you were. So I had talked to you before. Nice meeting you. And by the way, we're running an off-center fed, homemade off-center fed dipole. It's about 35 feet to the apex, 7600. An 8, let's see, this is the Hio 871 mic, and 781 mic, and I'm running a Meritron ALS 606 with the Palstar tuner, so hope the audio sounds pretty good on it. I love this mic, but you know, I've got a 7600, and this mic does not work very well with the 7300. I found that I don't think it has enough dynamic drive, or it's an off balance between that radio. I run an SM30 mic, an Icon mic on that 7300, and it just plays really well. But there's the difference. Every setup is different and unique. QSO.
Oh, Roger, yeah, audio is beautiful. You know, just absolutely beautiful. Folks, you know, sometimes forget that when you change mics back and forth, you should always recheck your ALC, because not all mics are created equal. Some mics have hotter outputs than others. And so if you have a mic set up for one radio and you change that mic to another mic, you want to go back and check your ALC to be sure that you're mid-scale to 2/3 scale on the ALC. Just a good idea, you know, just the ALC is probably one of the most important readings that you're going to get. It'll tell you if you're hot, cold, or indifferent. So I usually run mine mid-scale to 2/3, and it seems to work all right. This is KC9VKV. Thanks for dropping by.
QSL, Jim, I do the same thing here. ALC is very important. You don't want to put it in CB mode. You want that ALC to be just right, and then you're doing your friends and everybody else a big favor on that. So, all right, Jim, 73, nice talking to you. Have a great day. KC9VKV from Kilo Echo 8 Charlie Bravo Whiskey. Joe up here in Brighton. Have a good one, bud.
Roger, Roger. Good audio. Yeah, beautiful audio. This is KC9VKV and the Friday morning Qso-Vlog program. If you have a radio, you want to check the audio, give me a shout. We are recording. This is KC9VKV.